Tonight, search and destroy, backed by a fully armed assault team from the Ghana Armed Forces. The new face of the fight against illegal mining is gathering steam, with more than 100 mining equipment already destroyed.
Don't think that you will go back after all. This is a 3 days wonder or 9-day wonder. No, don't go back. That's all that I said. And that they have been given instructions to take action on anybody who goes back. That's all that it has to do. And you think you will go back, you are just endangering your own well-being in this our little country called Ghana.
Well, we have the latest as the president declares forest reserves and water bodies as red zones and sets up a situation room for members of the public to report all illegal mining activities across the country. We have the very latest from a statement that has just been released on the transparency the process, we understand, will take.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Gassim, Cement, the nation builder, as well as Vodafone. It is a search and destroy mission, and the fully armed members of the Ghana Armed Forces will be backed by an assault team to deal ruthlessly with anybody returning to forest reserves or water bodies to mine illegally. Armed soldiers have been tasked to take action against illegal miners who return to the mine to mining water bodies. This is the latest directive from government as soldiers completed the first phase of the operation geared at raiding the nation's water bodies of all forms of illegal mining. Now, President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday deployed 200 men drawn from the Army, Navy, and the Air Force to embark on this operation. Now, listen to the Defense Minister, Dominic Nitti, will give an update on the operation so far.
It is noted that since the commencement of the operation from Wednesday the 28th to Thursday 29th, the troops have destroyed a number of equipment, including 9 excavators, 127 chamfine machines platforms associated with mining equipment, 1 fuel pump. Furthermore, the following items have been seized and will be destroyed, except items that will be used as exhibit in courts. 8 by 24 plate batteries, 1 pump action gun case, a generator, Huawei phone, chainsaw machine, 8 raincoats, fuel filters, non-citizen Ghana card, ID card, 2 drilling equipment, and 2 boots. This will be destroyed except equipment that the police deem necessary for their work for prosecution. Otherwise, everything on site will be destroyed.
So what happens after this phase? The defense minister says there will be regular patrols and persons who return to the mine to mine on water bodies and in forest reserves. They do so at their own risk.
There will be constant monitoring of what they have done by the Ghana Air Force with assault people on board. And so don't think that you will go back after all. This is a 3 days wonder or 9-day wonder. No, don't go back. That's all that I said. And that they have been given instructions to take action on anybody who goes back. That's all that it has to do. So there's nothing that, because somebody is mining by the roadside doing this, that's not it. That's not the instruction that we have. Once they sweep a place and they are going to sweep all the major river bodies, they are going to sweep the forest reserves. When they sweep a place, and you think you will go back, you are just endangering your own well-being in this our little country called Ghana.
And we also heard today from the Lansing Natural Resources Minister, who has been indicating how they plan to monitor that the forest reserves and the water bodies, in fact, they are cleared of all illegal mining activities. He says they've set up a monitoring team that will be working with the armed forces to do this.
We are putting out telephone lines. Ghanaians can call to report that I live in Apamprama. There's a forest reserve. People are still engaged in prospecting there, or people are mining a forest reserve. The monitoring team will then alert the national security architecture apparatus so they can move in. In addition to that, and in accordance with the highest standards of transparency, I have here in my hand a list of prospecting recognizance licenses within forest reserves, those granted and those pending. And we have 105 of them. You have them, the particulars are name of company, name of forest reserve, location of forest reserve, municipal district, location of forest reserve region, date of forest permit, date of expiry, and all of that. I have instructed both the Minerals and Forestry Commission by close of working day 7th May, Friday, to publish this list. So we all have it. Ghanaians will have it. Publish it, put it out in the public domain. So everybody knows the companies who are holding prospecting or recognizance licenses and those whose applications are pending. So there is abundance of transparency in what we are trying to do. That this is a complex industry. I said it at the National Consultative Forum. I want to repeat it. The president's resolve alone will not be enough.
And that's Lands and Natural Resources Minister. We have a statement that had just been released in the last couple of hours, detailing a bit more about this, the situation room and the telephone lines that have been put out, and also another directive by the president. Let's go through that, Ernest.
And I want to start from the third paragraph, which is more relevant to this. It says the regional security councils across the country, which are already mandated to enforce all the laws, regulations, and or directives in the mining sector, have been put in readiness to ensure enforcement of these directives. In this regard, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, met with all regional ministers and relevant sector ministers on Wednesday, 28 April 2021 at the Jubilee House, during which meeting His Excellency the President designated forest reserves and water bodies as red zones, and this is written boldly in capital letters, and directed strict enforcement accordingly. Additionally, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has constituted a monitoring and evaluation team to ensure the enforcement of these measures. The team has set up a situation room at the mezzanine floor of the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, which will be in operational on weekdays from Tuesday the 4th of May 2021 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Citizens, civil society, the media, and the general public are encouraged to report any flouting of these directives or any other illegality relating to the mining sector. The situation room may be contacted, and there's a phone number. I'd like to put that out.
Let's share that, yes.
Because of the campaign. It said, so the number is 020 500 1978 020 500 1978, or the landline 0303 941743. You can also reach them via email MLNR, and that is the initials for Ministry of Lands Natural Resources, Ministry of Lands Natural Resources.ghana@gmail.com. Also, in accordance with the higher standards of transparency, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources has tasked the Minerals and Forestry Commissions to publish the list of companies holding prospecting and recognizance license in forest reserves by close of working day on Friday, the 7th
Which
of
is
May.
today.
No, next week.
Next week.
7th of May.
7th of May.
So that's next week. So that's the deadline for them to release the list. Whilst the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is encouraged by the response of the nation, the ongoing operation of the security agencies, and in some cases, modest progress in this endeavor, we continue to call on the Ghanaian public to support our efforts to sanitize the small-scale mining sector and reiterate the overriding necessity for a broad-based, non-partisan, and collective strive to rid the sector of illegalities, which continue to threaten our survival.
So a lot there happening in the front of dealing with the illegal mining menace. And this statement was signed by Benito Usubio. He is the Deputy Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources. Thankfully, he joins us on the telephone line right now. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. When you say that the forest reserves have been described as red zones, what does that mean in substance?
Thank you very much, and also thank you to your listeners. Yes, the ministry and also the president have designated the forest reserves and our river bodies as red zones. This is because these two areas are the most critical areas that to us as a nation is very important. And as such, we must keep those areas sacrosanct. So as we speak now, those areas are no-go areas. And also for the fact that no one is given a permit to go and destroy our river bodies. No one is given a permit to also destroy our forests. That is it. And so that's why we are saying they are red zones. We all Ghanaians are alarmed at those who are destroying our forests and our river bodies. So that's why we classify those areas as such.
But to help you, I mean, because we'll come into the approach to being transparent shortly, we need to know the list of those who are legitimately being licensed to be there before this directive comes in. We understand that the list should be published. Is it out yet?
No, it's not out yet. We have given them the order to publish it because we were waiting for the time that we gave them to expire, and that expired today. So we're waiting, and as such, by Tuesday it will be out there, it will be published, and then everybody would know which companies have been given prospecting or surveillance license to work in a forest reserve, and if they've been given such permits, are they actually doing the right thing or they are mining? It is important that we all know. And the transparency bit, by exposing it to all Ghanaians, is to prove to all and sundry that we want everyone on board. We want everyone on board, for instance, those in our districts and in our villages and our rural areas. They also ought to know, because on the list will be the various forest reserves, the names and the districts where they are located. So as such, to also help them, for instance, if they are aware there is somebody in a forest reserve nearby to them, they can then know that such person is doing an illegality, and they would also report to us. So we are being transparent. We want everybody on board.
I wonder, for those companies that we're about to publish with the prospecting license already to operate in forest reserves, is there an audit of their current activities to ensure that even though they have the license, they are operating still within the legal remits of not operating closer to water bodies and not excessively destroying the forest?
Yes, it will be an ongoing thing. Whilst we audit, we would at the same time be enforcing the law. So you are right. It's something that will be ongoing. But then we just want to let them know that the whole nation is against any illegality that they may be doing in the forest. And as such, if they are there doing that, then as at this evening today, if they are found there, then they will have themselves to blame.
We also been told today that the approach this time is to destroy illegal mining equipment that you've seized. Is there a reason why we're adopting that approach instead of, what we did the last time where we transported them to Accra and for safekeeping?
For your information, these equipment, they are not only excavators. We, for instance, on the river bodies, we have what we call these homemade or locally made dredgers, which we call them champagne. I mean, it will be very, very unwise for you to start packing champagnes and exporting them to Accra and transporting them to Accra. Such because they have no other use except that to use them on river bodies to destroy the rivers. So such machines, we don't see why they should go and pack them in a place for safekeeping or otherwise. And as such, those ones will be destroyed on site. For the excavators too, please, let me say that why should we keep on always transporting excavators to Accra to pack them when most often when people would at the end of the day still go and do the same thing because they know that if their machines are caught or if their machines are found doing illegalities, the only thing that will do to them is to pack them and transport them to Accra. Also, the cost of transporting those equipment to Accra alone, one excavator to transport it to Accra will cost about 3,000 cedis. And that is taxpayers' money. Why should we transport them to Accra? After all, what they were doing there is illegal. And these people, I would say, are criminals who are destroying our forest. And as such, we will. The directive today by the Minister for Defense is that if they are seen in the forest doing illegalities, they will be benched. If they are found on river bodies doing illegalities, they will be benched. And that will serve as a deterrent and a warning to the recalcitrant people in Ghana who still want to destroy our environment.
So far, have you had any resistance on the ground, or largely there's been compliance?
Oh, largely, I can say there's been compliance because we've just been informed that owners of excavators who are in Accra and our big cities and have hired their excavators to people to do illegal mining have called for the excavators back. And we have been informed several of them are on the way from the hinterland to Accra. So, yes, that is compliance. They are people whom we see don't want any trouble. And as such, they are complying. We will appreciate them for doing that. But for those who are still recalcitrant and they still want to be there, they have to be punished.
I mean, I wonder, one of the biggest challenges, and you were there as a deputy at the last time we fought this, was a political interference that was key. Has that reared its head? Are people calling to plead for people and intervene yet? And how are you dealing with it?
I don't expect anybody to call me or to call my minister if they know truly that whatever they are doing is illegal. Yes, because if they call us, I don't think we'll be able to help them in any way. We've sent the warning out there to everyone. We've made it public knowledge to the extent that we are even publishing the names of companies who hold prospecting and reconnaissance licenses. So I don't think anyone would be bold enough to call us. And even if you do, we would ignore you with the contempt that it deserves.
And very finally, we just published the phone lines and the email to the Situation Room for people to report. One of the concerns that some will raise is, are you going to keep the information on my identity anonymous? And can I trust that will happen if I call to report?
Yes, of course. I will assure the general public that those who call to offer information to us, their identity will be kept secret. And as such, we will not divulge any information about them to anyone otherwise. And so they must be free to call in during the time that we stipulated, and we will appreciate that as much as possible. We thank you, the media, for going ahead to announce the phone numbers and to let the public know what is happening. Yes, we would even, along the way, as we move on, call you over to our Situation Room for you to observe things for yourself to see how we are organizing the monitoring of the exercise. We appreciate our security men, especially our soldiers and the national security apparatus who are out there doing this exercise for us. And we thank them all.
Thank you very much. That is Honorable Benito Usubio. He's the Deputy Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources. And remember the phone lines again to call if you have a tip or you find anybody mining illegally anywhere across the country. You can call 020-500-1978 or 0303-941-743, or you can email the evidence or the reports to MLNR. That is the short abbreviation for Ministry for Lands Natural Resources .ghana@gmail.com. I want to bring in Michael Pepra. He is the president of the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association. Joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Pepra, search and destroy. Is your association in full support of that?
First of all, I think legally, if you read the Mining Act 995, it states clearly on what should be done with confiscated equipment. At the end of the day, in so doing, trying to solve the problem, we don't need to be creating other problems in future. People are mining without license. Others are on our various water bodies, destroying our water bodies. Anything illegal is illegal. We need to make sure we protect our water bodies and our forest reserves. When you burn these excavators, what happens to those dark, uncovered pits that will be left behind? And the law states clearly that any equipment that will be seized should be confiscated to the state. So in so doing, trying to use this one to serve as a deterrent from people to engage in galamsey, why can't we preserve these equipment and use it for reclamation purposes?
Well, I mean, Mr. Pepra, we tried that before. We saw disappearance of the excavators. I mean, once you can't keep doing the same things and expect different results.
If we've done wrong in the past, why can't we make sure the right thing is done? At the end of the day, those excavators were in custody of some people. So we leave them off the hook, and in so doing, we can't protect this excavated that can be put into good use. Then I'm sorry. Because we are all against Galamsey. Everybody is speaking against it. When we destroy our water bodies, we destroy our lands, we don't have anywhere to go. But then in so doing, we need to try and find a head-on solutions to the problem.
Yeah, but this is the head-on solution.
This is not the first time we've burnt people excavators. 2013, they burnt over 100, over 200 excavators.
Yeah, I remember that.
They did deter people from going back to work. So it means this is not the solutions to the problem.
But Mr. Pepra, you say this is not a solution. But the other solution you are also proposing, we've tried that before very recently, and that also didn't work.
No, I was about to bring a solution that will help us, to solve this problem.
What the solution is that?
The military is on the water bodies trying to clear those miscreants on our water bodies. Have you also thought it wise to engage those sub-chiefs, the committee, the assembly, and the town folks? The military alone can't fight this problem.
But we know that the chiefs, the assembly, they are neck deep in the problem, funding and fueling it.
Not all chiefs. At the end of the day, if we are even able to get, let's say, 60% of correct chiefs who are in support of the fight against Galamsey, we will get somewhere. And for all you know, there are a lot of people who are in this hinterland who doesn't even know that those people on our water bodies is illegal. So until we will sensitize them and let them understand the need to clear all these people, trust me, for how long are those military going to be there on the water bodies? If we could recall, we brought about 3 million worth of drones, 200 worth of drones to heard the defense minister talking about using the helicopter to be patrolling. How long can we sustain it? So it means this one is a short-term solutions that we're trying to get. But at the end of the day, we should always think about the medium and the long term. If we are able to solve it now and we can't sustain it, have we done the best thing for this country? Meanwhile, we can engage the town force, we can engage people, we can sensitize them. And trust me, if these people will support government, we will fight this Galamsey battle with ease. We've used the military since 1988, and it has not yielded any results.
Yeah.
So why do we keep on using the same approach to get a different result?
Yeah, I mean, they maybe this time it will be sustained because the other approach is suggested. I mean, it's also been tried. We tried a community mining approach, also didn't work. Maybe being tougher. And now there's also the combination of the military together with being transparent and getting the community involved through reporting to this line that has the situation room that has also been put forward tonight. Michael Pepper, thank you very much. Don't forget, if you have a tip, you know the phone lines to call as this fight against illegal mining has been re-energized. 020-50-1978. Ghana Connect comes up in 2 minutes. Stay with us.